welcome back to my channel. It's Kaylin, Full Purpose and Heart. If you're new, welcome over here to our side of the mountain where I just share about our homeschool life and all the stuff going on in our classroom. So today's video, I am going to share a little bit more details and kind of a look in the book, if you will, of the resource that is brand new to our classroom this year, something that I've never done before. We have done a lot of literature studies, but they've always been in like a lap book format. And sometimes they're successful, sometimes they're not. That's not true. Last year we did Little House in the Big Woods, and that was, did we do a lap book for that? What did we do for that? Oh, we just did like journals and such. But anyway, so this year we're gonna try something new to do some literature studies and just look a little bit deeper into classics. So let me show you about these books. I almost forgot. So this is the literature curriculum that I purchased. There's two different kinds. So I just want to show you what they look like, how I'm using them, and how these two are different. And I know that there are other curriculums out there. So this isn't like obviously the only ones, but this is what I have, and I'll show you why I got them. All right. So as a quick backstory, I am a history teacher by profession, retired obviously, and I have always been intimidated by the English teachers world. I don't understand how or why or what, like I don't know anything about how they run their worlds over there. So when it comes to language arts in my school, it is all very supplemented because I just don't know that world. And literature studies is a part of that. So I had a friend that went to a used curriculum sale kind of a thing, and she found a curriculum guide for literature studies that was very like reading comprehension based. And I didn't totally love that, but I liked the idea. I've always liked the idea of having something already finished for me. As I've mentioned, we did lap books in previous years where you read the book and then essentially they are just reading comprehension questions along with vocabulary that you put inside of your book. I've tried, stuff off of Teachers Pay Teachers. I've enjoyed that. We did a whole unit study on the Magic Tree House, and that was kind of a fun thing. So anyway, to the topic of the video, these are new curriculum guides that I've never actually done before. So this one's from Shell Education, and then this one is from Teacher Created Resources. I got both of them from Amazon. Okay. And I would turn the camera around and like show them more to you detailed that way, but we're just gonna do it this way because I have a lot of problems of people stealing my videos when I don't show my face. So we're just gonna stop worrying about that by always showing my face. Okay, so this is what you do. So let me show you this one first. This is the Shell Education Instructional Guides for Literature. And they have tons of different books that you can choose from. I have the One and Only Ivan. I can't remember. I think I got 5 different ones. So, you buy the book separate. This isn't the actual book, obviously. So you buy the book separate, and then you have your literature guide. The pros, all of the content that you need is in this. I love a couple of things about this. Number one, I think it covers all of the story, like plot, setting, and characters multiple times throughout it. They have, they're actually like activities. They're not just like reading comprehension questions, but it's also like extended thinking. What do you think about this? Or how would you do this? They have some art in here. Some of it is cut and paste. I think there's like 2 or 3 like little cut and paste activities that are in here. They have the pre-reading and post-reading thoughts. So I like that. And then at the very end of this curriculum guide, they have the, it's like a culmination activity. And this particular culmination activity says things like, because this is the One and Only Ivan, obviously. So it says like, you can go to the Zoo Atlanta website celebrating Ivan. So they have this whole like thing, and you can write about it and you can draw about it. What does it teach you about it? There are some comprehension assessment questions at the end. And then it says, describe what people from the zoo do to help Ivan and Ruby. Oh, those are comprehensions. There's another thing. Like you have to make a poster that shares about why it's important to take care of animals or something. When I was planning it, I remember that being in there. Okay. So here's the con is that, and this may be like a deal breaker for you because I didn't actually consider this when I was buying it and I bought a bunch, but you do have to copy these pages for each of your students. So I have 3 books, so I had to copy 3 pages of every page. So HP Instant Ink is the printer company that I use. So I buy an HP printer, connect it to the internet, sign up for their online service, and then the internet watches all of my ink levels. And for a monthly fee, I just pay my monthly fee, and I have a certain number of copies every single month, and they roll over. So if I don't use them all in one month, then the next month I have more. And then if I use all of them, then I can use these banked ones that I have. So it's been fantastic. I've had it for many, many, many years. I used it when I taught preschool in my home, and then I also use it today. So the copying isn't the expense, but it's the time. Like, I do have to take the time to do it. So that may be a downside for you. But when you're finished, then you get this. So this is, these are like presentation folders, again, from Amazon. And I'm not sure how well these will work. We've never used them before, but we'll see. I would really love to coil bind them because my heart is in coil binding. See, look, I feel like it's already coming out. Oh no, that's just the way it is. Anyway, but I don't have a coil binder, and every time I think about investing in one, I just kind of shy away from it because I'm like, oh, think of all the other cool pens I can buy for that kind of money. Anyway, so I tried this year. We'll see. I have a little concern that they probably will fall out because I'm using these presentation folders for our other study that we're doing, which I can't remember what it is. Oh, history, our history unit. And I feel like my kids open it, it doesn't really lay flat very good. So these pages tend to like pop out. It's not a hard fix. It's not, but it is what it is. So anyway, this is what you get. I kind of did it by color, by sections. So they have it divided up by chunks of pages, and they're not like by chapter. At least this particular one is not by chapter. But maybe this book isn't by chapter anyway. It's just by pages. Oh no, it is in chapters. I've never read the book. I've only seen the movie. So anyway, but here's what we get. Let me just kind of go through. I'm kind of nervous to use this because I think it might fall apart. But let me just go through one section because all the sections are kind of similar, okay? So you start with the pre-reading theme thoughts. It asks you animals. Oh, it gives you a statement. How do you feel about it and why you feel that way? This particular guide, and I didn't know this when I bought it because it didn't show it on Amazon, but this guide is levels kindergarten through 3rd grade. I have a kindergartner, 2nd grader, and 5th grader. Yes, my 5th grader is going to do this with us. So, okay, so that's where you start. And then there's also like at the beginning, there is a little synopsis about the author. So you can talk about that. This does not have like a teacher's guide. It does not tell you, okay, on the first day, read these pages, then do page 4 in your activity book. It's not built that way. It is designed with a lot of liberty given to the teacher to just choose what you want to do. So they do have correlations to standards if that's important to you, that maybe you need to report that kind of stuff to your state. But yeah, they don't have any like calendar guide or whatever, like a sample lesson plan. They don't do that. They just give you all the pages. They do have right here. They do have a little like analyzing the literature, and then they have 2 level questions. So level 1 would be your younger students. Level 2 is your older students. And then they do have an example of things that should be included in that answer. They call them key discussion points. But this really is the only like teacher page that's going to be in there for all of the sections. So it's not going to be laid out for you. You do have a lot of freedom to do what you want. If you're looking for something that's going to tell you, okay, on day 1 do this, on day 2 do this, that's not what this is going to look like, okay? All right, here's another page. This is your vocabulary activity. So for each section, I think this particular book has 5 sections. So you have like 5 vocabulary pages, but the vocabulary here is like the big top mall. So that has to do with setting. Ivan, that's a character. The vocabulary is domain and imagination are the 2. Oh, juvenile, silverback, and jungle, I guess, are the vocabulary words, okay? Then you have a reader's response page. I'm not going to go through every single page of the whole book, but I'll just do this first section so you can kind of see. So write about your best friend and how they help you feel better in sad times. Then there's a closed reading guide. think about these questions. What text helps you understand how Ivan feels? Explain the difference between Julia's drawings and Ivan's drawings. Based on the story, how does Ivan feel about his art? Okay. Making connections, being an artist. Julia draws a picture of an idea in her head. Ivan draws pictures about things he can see. So then in one box, you do things that you can see and pictures in your head. Here's language learning metaphors. So you're going to learn about language learning / metaphors. So you're going to learn about metaphors and similes. Here's your character guide. You talk about where they came from, why they end up there, what's something special. So there's a character. Here's a story elements. You talk about the setting. So you get to draw a map of how you imagine the mall looks like. And now I'm into section 2. Okay. Vocabulary activity. Now, I believe this does tell you so this tells you on the top of this page what pages are going to be in this section. So this is pages 1 through 60 is this section, which I copied in white paper, okay? So then you get to the next vocabulary page, and it's going to be, I almost dropped that. It's going to be, you'll see here, page 61 to 120, and then you have your discussion questions, following which you have the same idea. Not the same activities, but the same idea. It's going to talk about plot, character. I skipped a bunch of pages. Here's your making connections, freedom versus captivity. So it's like a cut and paste activity. You're going to learn about capitalization. What else do we have? Closed reading again. Possessives. You learn about possessives. Here's like a little graphic organizer. Okay, so I liked it because it was not just reading comprehension questions. It wasn't like point A, then point B, like answer question 1, 2, 3, and then make it cute by putting in a lap book. Like this is actually an activity. So this is going to be what we do for our road school. And I'm just bringing all 3 of my kids. So I have 3 of these going with us. And then I'm going to bring the guide and the book. And this will be our road school for our language arts for the entire time we're on the road. So, and I have a couple of these, but that is what we're doing. Now I'm going to quickly show you, this one might be a little bit more vague because I haven't actually prepared this one. I'm not as familiar with this one, but when I purchased it and quickly flipped through it, I think that this company may be more of a preferred company for me. This is Teacher Created Resources. They do have a website I've seen, but that it's also on Amazon. And unfortunately on Amazon, you can't see inside the book. So come here to my side of the mountain and I'll show you what's inside. Okay, so unfortunately, again, I'm not as familiar with this one as I was on the last one, but this one does have sample lesson pages. Unlike the other curriculum, which was by who again? Shell Education, they did not have sample lesson pages. So on this one, when you open it, you can see it says lesson 1. You're going to introduce and complete some or all of the pre-reading activities found on page 5. So they have these 5 bullet points that really show you read page 7, read page 8, read page 9. So this does give you a very more directed walkthrough if you need it. It's not as open-ended. So for someone like myself that doesn't know anything about how to do a literature study, I should have done this one first is what it comes down to. But when I did my master plan, that's not what I chose. So I took my brain out of it and now this is where we are. But anyway, okay, so here's your before you read the book. It will be beneficial for the students to discuss the setting in the south of England. So it tells you all of that stuff. And then it gives you a couple of things you can do to talk about the book before you actually start it. Like looking at the cover. What do you think it's about? Talking about fantasy, talking about England, learning about Roald Dahl, all that kind of good stuff. Okay. Then we're going to make our writer's workbook. Before beginning, every student should have a notebook, especially for this literature unit. So now you need to get the kids a notebook. Here's about the author. So if you want to either get that from here or you can get it from the internet, of course. And then let's see, book summary. That's what this is a book summary. Okay, so this particular one, it gives you your vocabulary on one page. That's also kind of nice because then you know what you can prepare for. If you're really creative and you like to make vocabulary activities or pages or art crafts or whatever it is, then you have all of your vocabulary on one. And this one is divided up into 5 sections. And there are a lot of vocabulary words. The Shell Education, not very many. I think there's maybe 5 vocabulary words per section. So you're looking at 15, 20 total, I guess. This has got significantly more words to be looking through. What is this age range? I don't even have a clue. For all kids. I didn't even look at the ages when I bought it, so I couldn't tell you. I guess it's for, it doesn't have for who. So just make it for your kids, right? That's what we do as homeschoolers. We just make it for our kids. Okay. Oh, good. They even give you vocabulary activity ideas, so you don't even have to go to Pinterest. Quiz time, answer the questions on a separate sheet of paper in your Writer's workbook. So what I would end up doing, if you've been here for a minute, you know what I'm going to say, but I can never leave well enough alone. I cannot just get a piece of paper and be like, here kids, no, I have to like make it. So I'll probably, most likely, absolutely, like you can count on it. I'm going to make something similar to this. This cover is, I made, so it's just, these are images from Google Images. I just slapped them on a PowerPoint presentation next to each other. The paint cans, I don't think were included. I add, like, these are separate images. So it's like 3 images and I just slapped them all together and then put some words on the top and put a box around it. Okay. So I made this myself. So I'm probably going to do that for this curriculum guide, but it might look a little bit different. Anyway, so what I would do is I would probably have like pages that are set aside specifically for when we do questions like these. And maybe I would even write it on here. List 3 major events of this section, chapters 1 through 9. They also have critical thinking questions. So the critical thinking and the, what is it called? Reading comprehension is just straightforward. But this is what I love about this is the activities that go with each section. So you're going to make a paper mache giant peach. Oh my gosh, how cute. Then you're going to view the giant peach. So you're going to get tickets, make a news broadcast, write a TV news story to be broadcast on the evening news. You could write a newspaper article, or you can make advertising posters about this giant peach. Aunt Sponge could hardly wait to eat some of the peach, but Aunt Spiker said there's a pile of money to be made here. So you can make tickets. Anyway, so cute, huh? Right? Isn't that peachy? So this looks like a science experiment where you can see the difference between a peach and a nectarine. Cross-curricular. Are you guys picking up what I'm picking up? I should do this for road school because then I don't have to do science. Okay. Obviously, I didn't like look too far into it. All right, so here's a science. You can tell the difference between the fruit, the skin, the seeds, the color, the taste. Rescue James. Poor James. He was in a miserable life with his nasty aunts. He remembered the happy, peaceful life he had. So Magic Green, imagine that you know somebody like James. Here's your chance to rescue him. What could you do to help? Write a short account of your rescue. Place rice and food coloring in the jar. Screw the lid tightly. Shake well. Spread the rice on newspaper to dry. Glue a pinch of these green things to the illustration that accompanies the written account of the rescue. Well, I don't know how that fits in, but there you go. Okay, quiz time at the end. So now we're in section 2. So each section begins with the quiz, the reading comprehension. So this is the section that I would actually take out of the book and create my own documents. So then when I put this together, then it's all in here. And then at the end of the school year, when we have open house, I have like a cute display already ready to go, and the work has been done during the school year. So then we can show everybody when they come to that, okay? Then you have your activities. So this one is gonna be stick puppets. Oh, how darling. Then you're gonna produce a play for this section. Centipede shoe race. James adopted by giant bugs. This is gonna be like a magazine or something like that. And now you're into section 3, seagull power. You're gonna make a seagull. What do you really mean? This is figurative language studies. Is it an insect? So then you learn about all different kinds. You actually have an insect study, learning about the antenna, the head, the brain, the thorax, abdomen, spiracles, and 3 pairs of jointed legs. Expectations. The highest expectation can lead to the greatest disappointment. And now you're into the next section. Okay, so you can see that this one's a lot more hands-on and it's kind of a lot more fun. This is a lot more like classroom going, which is actually better for road schooling because, I mean, this is super cute, but this is going to actually require me to take with me a lot of supplies that I have at home, but I don't have with me when I'm on the road. This is just something that's a lot of conversation and then coloring and that sort of thing. But these activities really have a fun way of bringing the book to life. So build a rainbow, just a children's story. Grasshopper is a violin. Look at you get to make like a little violin. Okay, so so much more hands-on and crafty is going to be the teacher created resources. Again, they have a whole bunch of book choices that you can do. I suspect that their website, which is, I don't know, just Google search teacher created web resources. Maybe I'll try to put it in the description box below. Their website may have more than Amazon. That typically is the case with these types of companies, I've noticed. But I think that Amazon had a good selection when I was buying them. So anyway, those are our literature studies. That's a very deep look, but I want you to know what you're getting so that, because I clearly didn't know that well, but I'm excited. I think I have 5 planned for this school year, and it's just going to be a different way for us to approach our literature, make sure that I'm reading aloud to my kids, because I have seen, and I believe in a lot of the studies that are out there about the benefits of reading aloud. And so I'm trying to incorporate it. We're not great at it. And so this is going to be at least one way to do it for at least these few books that we have, even if it's not an everyday occurrence in our house. So anyway, hopefully you found that helpful and maybe you'll have some interest. I will put it in the description box below. This is not an affiliated or sponsored commercial at all. I just bought them for myself. So I just thought I'd throw that in there because I do love Evan Moore and I do a lot of sponsored videos for them, but this is just on my own. So, okay, we'll talk to you guys later in another video. Bye.